Hello, you guys. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Sacred Sunday. Welcome back. Welcome back to the channel, you guys. I am so looking forward to today's topic as I am with each and every one of them. Today's topic, I feel like, is going to resonate with a lot of people, just in general, in whatever season that you're in, whether if you're in the rebuilding phase, whether if you're in abundance phase. I feel like we all can struggle sometimes with seeing the light at the end of the tunnel, having hope within the darkness. When we are in the thick of things, and we're in a state of maybe uncertainty or confusion. And I wanted to part with you guys a little bit of a word and a little bit of, unsolicited advice or things that are working for me to maintain my hope in times where I may not be the most sure of how the outcome is going to go. And I'm hoping that this word is a blessing to you guys. I'm hoping on this Sacred Sunday, you guys can take this sacred message with you guys throughout the week, and it'll give you guys a boost in morale and give you guys a little bit of drive in order to, push along. And I'm hoping that it ignites that hope that maybe that you're missing. But before we get into today's topic, do remember to subscribe to the channel, turn your post notifications on, do like the video, and do comment below. If you're in a season where maybe you're losing a little bit of hope. I want to be the first one to tell you that you're not alone. This is a big reason why I created this a soft, safe place for us to vent out, for us to support one another, and for us to move along and find encouragement within one another to move along on this journey that we're going through currently. And in whatever chapter you're in, we can all pick ourselves up from the ground. We can pick each other up from the ground. And give ourselves that, support and encouragement to move forward. So, without further ado, let's get into today's topic. Okay, so finding hope within the darkness. I know it feels like a kind of light but yet depressive kind of topic for the day, but I think that we're 3 months into the year, and this is the point in time where we're not at the midway point yet. And we're not at the beginning phase anymore, but we're in that weird phase where we're just pushing along, going through the day-to-day, having our routine, and maybe even numb to the things that we're doing. And sometimes being in that state of mind when you're just, on a routine and on a repetitive schedule, you can probably lose hope and lose sight on why you're doing what you're doing. Or maybe if you're even experiencing outcomes that are not the most favorable, or maybe you feel like you should be at a certain point and you're not, it can be very discouraging. And sometimes it's really hard to keep hope alive in moments like that. And I think more often than not, people we all are guilty of it, tend to stay within our shell and keep it to ourselves and go through the motions of that unsurety by ourselves. And I want to talk to you guys today on how to balance that out, how to encourage yourself, how to keep hope alive throughout this phase. I could be the first one to tell you, I don't like talking to people about the things that I have going on, whether they're, favorable or not. There are times when you update people on what's going on, but to have someone that you talk to on a day-to-day basis, or even like on a weekly basis on everything you have going on, sometimes you feel like you're burdening someone. Sometimes you feel like you don't want to overwhelm them, and they have their own problems going on. So the real question is, how can you unload, but at the same time, and build that hope within yourselves and see the light at the end of the tunnel? And something that works for me, as I said to you guys before, is I really lean on journaling. It helps me vent out everything that may be in my mind. Because when you're in your head with things, it's not like you just have one thought crossing your head, right? No, it's like thousands of thoughts, or at least for me, it's thousands of thoughts simultaneously hitting me all at once, feeling like I have to tackle everything, thinking about where I am right now, whether in a progressive way or whether I'm not at where I want to be. And it can be very overwhelming and discouraging. So taking the time to write down, like intentionally journal, what you have in your head, your goals, where you're currently at, being real with yourself, can put things in perspective. Because sometimes in our head, things are a lot worse than they actually are. And sometimes in our head, we don't take into consideration the progress that we have made, and we don't give ourselves enough credit. So take the time to like write down and celebrate those small wins that you have, even if you're not at the end result of where you want it to be. Because when you take time to celebrate those small wins, that feeling that you have, that you get from seeing those little small things add up, builds an excitement and builds a sense of motivation and a sense of pride on the things that you're doing. So sometimes it's not about venting out your issues to people. It's about reflecting on what you're doing, what you're actually doing. And sometimes maybe you look at the page and be like, hey, I could do more. That's fine. But also give yourself credit for what you have done. If your goal was to be at a certain weight and you're not there yet, but you did make progress by going to the gym and losing, and you have lost weight, don't, shoot yourself in the foot just because you're not at where you want to be or where you thought you were going to be at a specific time. You can always reevaluate what you're doing. You can always readjust, but definitely do take time to appreciate yourself. Another thing that I do that keeps hope alive is I try to make sure that my atmosphere and my environment are set not only for the day, not only for the week, but overall with everything I do. I'm intentional about how I place things in my home, about how clean my home is, about the things that I choose to listen to throughout the day, about the people that I choose to interact with throughout the day. Is really important because when you set your environment, sometimes your environment can drag you into a state of being, into a state of mind that you don't need to be in. Excuse me. And with that being said, like it comes down to not only like you entering your home and how you have your home set up, but even the people that you talk to, even the podcasts that you may listen to, even the coworkers that you may interact with, even with the friends that you have, even with the family members that you have. Sometimes hearing other people's, sometimes being around other people and them being in a certain energy can be contagious, especially like if that energy is negative. Remember, there is a truth to saying misery loves company. And even though that specific phrase isn't like, some people don't mean to intentionally bring you down or intentionally discourage you. Sometimes it's out of love, sometimes it's out of concern. That can still put you in a state of mind where you don't want to be in. Another thing that I do, and I'm going to say this last one, is how to deal with things when you have unfavorable outcomes. Meaning, when you thought things were going to go a certain way and they didn't. Dealing with disappointment is essential, and having a routine around how to get out of the rut of disappointment is really important. And it's going to look different for everyone. Whether you're going through a breakup, whether you just lost your job, whether you're unsure of how to grow your business, or whether you're in a stage where you just really don't know what you want out of life, dealing with the disappointing outcome and finding a way to navigate through that is important. So whether if it's like having a reset time at the gym, whether if it's going on a walk, whether if it's intentionally going to the beach and letting the waves or letting the sound of the water, even the water, wash away your thoughts, get it out of the environment and get away from the thing that caused the disappointment. So even if it's for a temporary time, like obviously, like if you lost your job, if you just got out of a relationship, or experienced an unfortunate circumstance in your relationship, staying in the thick of it, like whether you had an argument with them or whether you guys broke up or whether, you're just in your house and you're thinking about everything, being being in solitude like that is only going to make your mind wander more. So intentionally go out somewhere that's different, right? That's a different environment that has a sense of beauty. That's something that you enjoy. If you're someone who likes to race cars, go to the race car track. If you're someone who likes to read, go to the library. If you're someone who likes nature, go on a walk, go on a hike, go to the beach. Do something in a different environment, because you'd be so surprised how when you take yourself out of your norm and you take yourself out of your space and your routine, how much that would affect your mental and how much that impacts your thoughts and how much it cleanses you when you have that small moment of distraction, for lack of a better word. And it's not intentionally be like, oh, this is what you do all day, every day, no matter what. No, it's when you're in the thick of things, when your mind's racing, when you feel sad or you feel like crying. And I'm not saying don't cry. I'm saying get up and go somewhere else. Get up and change your environment. Get up and do something that you love, because that's going to change that feeling that you have. And even if it doesn't completely erase the emotions that you're feeling in the moment, it's going to help with your current state of mind that you're in. So just be mindful of that. The way that you find hope overall is not within other people. It's not in the encouraging words and the support that other people have, though that is a blessing. It's more in the things that you do for yourself. And I know I emphasize that a lot in all my videos, but being very intentional about yourself in every single way, from the small ways to the big ways, with how you wake up in the morning, to how you plan out your day, to taking time for yourself to know about the things that you like, to taking time for yourself for your mental health, to treat yourself well, to celebrate your successes, on the way that you work, on the way that you plan. Like, all those things are small compared to the grand scheme of life, but they are the things that collectively make up your life. And those things compound over time. The consistency that you have with yourself and the intentionality that you have with yourself compound over time, and it puts you in a state of mind that maybe not everything will be solved, but you're at peace and you know that there's a way through, and that's what ignites that hope. So I know that, there may be a lot of people out there that don't know where to begin and don't know where to start. And I don't want to butcher everything into one video, but if you guys are interested in knowing exactly where to start, exactly how to begin, and steps that you can actually take on a daily basis, or even in the exact moment where you're not feeling the best, do drop a comment below. I'll share with you guys what I think is good standard practices that everyone should do, or at least will be helpful for everyone if you're starting off. To try to find ways to regulate your emotions in times of uncertainty and find hope. But I hope that this video was a blessing to you. Remember, we drop content every Sunday, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. So I will see you guys tomorrow for our Self-Mastery Monday. Do drop a comment below if there's anything specific that you guys want me to go about. I do have a topic in mind, but I am good with, being flexible here. But I hope to see you guys in my next video. Do remember to subscribe to the channel, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.